You all right? That's good. You tell him he tips that bite, I tip him. Cheeky bugger, he can't keep his horns off hen, you know. Oh, I'm no one of the turns, hen. Oh, God, no. I only clean out after him, you know. Don't worry about me, I'm all right. I'm no stranger to danger, you know. See where you're sitting there? See where you're sitting out there now? Oh, up there. I've done all that. Scrupulous, so it is. Scrupulous. Don't worry, you're all settled down. You'll no go out when you never come in with. Sharon, a couple of pies in my shopper hen, got to put them in the baby bellin for me. And just melt my teenage sugar. The hermesetas are in the pocket. No, I'm trying to watch, you know. God, there's no a pun of me hanging the right road. Do you know I haven't one of my days a day? One of the days you don't know what end he is up, you know? She knows what I'm talking about. Do you know what I think? I think my bionic rhythms is all to hell. Of course, he's getting on my nerves, you know? That ornament I keep in the house. I'm not kidding, it would take a stick of dynamite to separate that man's ears with that chair in front of the tail. He's Oprah Winfrey daft, so he is. God, he loves all that, Kerry, when the folk come on and they tell all their business and expose themselves, you know. You know, he was sitting there when I left this morning. He'll still be sitting there when I get home tonight. He'll eventually mummify himself. The rigor mortis is creeping up his legs for the head down. A doctor, he brought a woman into him, you know. One of the clinical pathologists. Oh, she says, he's suffering from severe distress vocational maladjustment. She says, to put it in other words, she says, in simple terms, he's no adjusted for work to redundancy. Oh, I says, I'll put it in simpler terms than that. I says, I think he's adjusted very well today and bugger off. Oof. She's seen her face, you know, she wasn't pleased. But I never missed her and hit the wall, you know. Ended up the doctor just gave him a line. He put on it industrial nausea. Seek a work. I mean, it's not as though I haven't tried for that man. I have bent over backwards for him. You know? I says to him, I says, how do you fancy a wee fortnight and we're time sharing the seashells? Didn't he want that, you know? I says, well, do you fancy a week and we're condom and Lanzarote? That didn't suit him, you know? I says, well, I says, do you want a wee week in Rossi? Well, do you know there was a wee kind of flicker interest? No, I could perceive a wee excitement rising, you know? Because that's where we spent our honeymoon. Oh, and I thought he's not going to start all that business of me. I couldn't go that. You get kind of past that stage. So anyway, I books up for a week in the Bayview, and, you know. So when we got there, I plunked him down in his lie-low on the beach. You know the wee bit of beach next to the pier where the boats come in? You know what I mean. I says, I'll away the messages. Got I turned round, that was him sound asleep. So I comes back about an hour later. No sign of him. No sign of the lie-low. The tide's in. I thought, well, easy come, easy go. So I goes back to the Bayview for my high tea, you know. And I'm getting wired in at my ham and egg pie, and this announcer comes on the television. You know the one I mean, what's her name again? Narinji Sarinji. Always think she looks an awful nice lassie, you know. Anyway, she's reading the news, you see, and she says, unknown man found floating on a lie-low in the estuary of the Clyde. Then they take a Philadelphia lawyer to work out who that was, you know. So after I had my cup of tea and a fairy cake, I phones up the Coast Guard. I says, I'm inquiring about the Sleeping Beauty. Oh, he says, he's no sleeping now. He says, he's running about mental, completely disorientated. Oh, I says, that's it. I says, well, I'll tell you one word that'll quiet, and I'm doing. He says, what's that? I says, work. Anyway, that done the trick, you know. Oh, I took him home and been sitting there ever since. A ghost of his former shadow. With his stock of rock, his kiss me quick hat, and his face all purple, trying to reinflate that bloody lie-low.